أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. To understand the complexity of life, we can look at examples of innate behavior, or as some people call it, natural instinct. Some animals have natural reflexes and behaviors that they are born with. So they don't need someone to teach them. For example, a baby spider starts building a web as soon as it is born. It is instinctive, intrinsic, and in most cases, these behaviors are fundamental for the survival of the species. It is in their DNA. Innate behaviors are controlled by genes with no need for parenting or environmental influences. In the Quran, these behaviors are called inspiration. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspires a creature to do what it does. Here is an example. There are 3 chapters in the Quran that are named after insects. The first one, numerically in the Quran, is in chapter 16, النحلة, or the bees. Number 16 is very special for bees. We will talk about it at the end. It is pretty amazing. You might ask, why would Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give an example of bees? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as in الأمثل, تفسير الأمثل, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to learn from His creation. Bees are some of the most successful species on earth. The first task bees conduct is to build a suitable home, which is the first condition for a good life. Beehives are built with details and strength. The angles and the side lengths are precisely measured to have no gaps at all. With hexagon shapes, it is an engineering masterpiece. Bees go immediately to work after they emerge from their cells. Let's talk about these 2 verses in details. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ أَنِ اتَّخِذِي مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا وَمِنَ الشَّجَرِ وَمِمَّا يَعْرِشُونَ. And your Lord inspired the bees that take houses among the mountains and among the trees and in what they construct. When this verse talks about bees, it uses a feminine pronoun, اتخذي. This is the first miraculous scientific reference, because it is the females who actually control the hive. From the queen to the workers to the guards, females do all the work. The queen holds the most important position in the cell, in the hive. So it lays eggs, and it has the ability to choose the gender of the babies. If she wants to lay a female egg, she fertilizes it. If she wants to lay a male egg, she chooses not to fertilize it. On the other hand, it is known that the best honey is made by beehives in the mountains, then from trees, and then from beehives in places where people live. This is in line with the order in the verse. The mountains, then the trees, then what they construct, what people build. Let's take a break. We will be right back. Okay, let's continue. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the next verse, ثُمَّ كُلِي مِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ فَاسْلُكِي سُبُلَ رَبِّكِ ذُلُلًا. Then eat of all the produce and follow humbly the paths ordained for you by your Lord. Bees work really hard when making honey. And I think that we underappreciate what they do. They have a mutual relationship with plants. They pollinate the flowers as they collect nectar. When collecting food, a bee visits about 1,000 flowers to make 1 drop of honey. To make 1 kilogram of honey, bees need to travel collectively over 400,000 kilometers. That is equivalent to going around the earth 10 times. Yet, they keep working, they keep doing it. They communicate and organize their paths so they wouldn't get lost. The ayah continues. يخرج من بطونها شراب مختلف ألوانه فيه شفاء للناس إن في ذلك لآية لقوم يتفكرون. There issues from within their bellies a drink of varying colors, wherein is healing for people. Verily, in this is a sign for those who reflect, who think. Honey is made inside bees, and it goes through chemical reactions and transformation processes, which starts shortly after the bee collects the nectar. Honey is very healthy, and it has healing powers. Each bee has a specific job, and it knows what to do. Some collect food, some build cells or honeycombs, some take care of the babies or the larvae. They collaborate in a very sophisticated way. They communicate with movements, and they communicate with movements that, like, their communication is in flawless harmony. Honeybees have an astonishing social civilized life. You might ask, how does an insect with a brain size of a sesame seed could do all of these complex tasks in harmony? In terms of biology, the answer is in the genetic makeup or DNA of the bee. In terms of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired them to do what they do. And there is no conflict in the two answers. Dr. Francis Collins is a physician who discovered the genes associated with many diseases, and he led the Human Genome Project. He said, one of the greatest tragedies of our time is this impression that has been created that science and religion have to be at war. End of quote. In Islam, science and religion are not in conflict. Back to number 16. The building block of DNA in bees is 16. Each egg starts with 16 chromosomes. If it isn't fertilized, it becomes a male or a drone. If the queen wants to make a female, it fertilizes the egg with 16 more chromosomes, double. Miraculously, the numerical code of Surah Al-Nahl, the bee chapter in the Quran, is number 16. Isn't that remarkable? Here are the references for this presentation: Al-Amthal, National Geographic documentaries, and then lectures of Dr. Ratib al-Nabulsi. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammad wa alihi al-tahirin. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.